Welcome to Navy Exclusive, where we dive deep into the world's most intense naval operations. Imagine the Strait of Hormuz completely engulfed in a sudden high-intensity conflict, where a single wrong move could trigger a global economic collapse. Today, we are bringing you a detailed, play-by-play breakdown of a terrifying naval ambush that pushed modern military technology to its absolute limit. We will analyze exactly how U.S. Navy assets countered a massive, multi-domain surprise assault from Iran using advanced radar, electronic warfare, and precision strikes. Keep reading as we unpack every critical second of this high-stakes maritime battle. It was 3:17 a.m. in the Strait of Hormuz. A United States commercial oil tanker was silently making its way through the vital waterway. Suddenly, dozens of heat signatures swarmed from the shore like a pack of hunting wolves. Iran had just launched a surprise attack from multiple directions. Less than 90 seconds later, U.S. forces activated an emergency response, quickly plunging the entire Hormuz battlefield into chaos far beyond Tehran's expectations. And this was only the first few seconds of a massive engagement. By 3:19 a.m., Iran's first wave of attack fully emerged. A fleet of Zulfiqar-class fast attack craft departed from camouflaged coastal bases near Qeshm Island, accelerating to over 50 knots. These high-speed vessels split into small tactical groups, closing the gap from multiple directions to encircle vulnerable commercial oil tankers. While on patrol and blockade duty in the Gulf of Oman, a U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke-class Flight III destroyer immediately detected an anomaly. The warship's advanced and SBY-6V1 radar quickly penetrated the intense surface interference, completely isolating the faint signals from the surrounding civilian vessels. Immediately after early target detection, the destroyer's Combat Information Center switched to the highest alert status. The crew activated the Aegis-based Line 10 combat system to automatically track the surface combat threat. High above the stratosphere, a P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft served as the supreme eye in the region's skies. The P-8As and APY-10 multi-mission surface search radar began generating a real-time joint battle picture. This advanced platform tracked the macro movements of deployed Iranian forces and securely transmitted telemetry data directly to Allied data networks. At 3:23 a.m., the situation escalated dramatically as the Zulfiqar patrol boats narrowed the gap to a dangerous level for the commercial oil tankers. Taking advantage of their extremely high speed, the Iranian crews executed a pre-calculated tactical maneuver, secretly deploying smart mines directly into the moving shipping lane. If these mines exploded, their destructive power would be sufficient to penetrate the double hull of a supertanker, causing catastrophic fires and explosions and completely blocking the vital shipping lane. Faced with this asymmetrical threat, the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer Flight III was forced to sacrifice its free strike capability. The commander performed powerful maneuvers to position its 9,000-ton hull as a physical shield for the civilian oil tanker. However, the sheer number and multi-axis approaches of the Zulfiqar groups began to overload the SBY-6V1 radar. This forced the Aegis combat system to allocate massive processing power to tracking defensive targets instead of offensive ones. But here's where it gets interesting. To break the tactical stalemate, an MH-60R Seahawk maritime attack helicopter 47 multi-mode radar, the Seahawk flew low over the waves to avoid potential coastal threats. The crew immediately mapped the precise coordinates of the newly deployed mines, while establishing a continuous high-resolution target tracking line against the aggressive surface fleet. The Seahawk instantly transformed into a predatory platform, initiating a swift kinetic response. The co-pilot gunner locked onto the lead targets, launching a barrage of AGM-114 Hellfire missiles and APQUA's laser-guided missiles. The two lead trains of the Zulfiqar convoy were destroyed in spectacular secondary fuel explosions in just 6 minutes. Despite these severe losses, the remaining groups adapted nimbly. They performed high-speed evasive maneuvers, releasing smoke screens and exploiting civilian traffic to conceal their heat signatures as they continued their perilous incursion into the heart of the convoy. At 3:34 a.m., the IRG activated the shore-based Avtobaza-M electronic warfare system, a heavy-duty truck-mounted passive radar and jamming system designed by Russia's Kret. The Avtobaza-M flooded the battlefield with high-power local radio frequency countermeasures. This completely saturated the SBY-6V1 radar on the destroyer and caused a severe disruption in the Link 16 tactical data network. Simultaneously, under the shield of this electromagnetic chaos, Iran quietly deployed the next phase of its asymmetrical strategy. They deployed a squadron of Ghadir-class mini-submarines into the deep trenches of the strait. Sensing serious disruptions, the command crew immediately coordinated its multi-mission assets. High above, amidst a chaotic electronic fog of war, the Boeing P-8A Poseidon used advanced electronic support measures to isolate critical signals, while its multi-mission sensors maintained comprehensive operational visibility. Scanning the periphery. The P-8A's acoustic processor detected subtle anomalies underwater, identifying acoustic signatures indicating the presence of submersible vehicles. The command team immediately suspected the deployment of mini-submarines from Iran. The MH-60R Seahawk helicopter was immediately maneuvered toward the highly probable coordinates. Working in perfect coordination with the P-8A, the Seahawk dropped a large number of N/SSQ-53G acoustic guidance buoys into the dark waters. The sonar system immediately confirmed the presence of an Iranian Ghadir-class mini-submarine, a diesel-electric vessel specifically designed for ambush operations in shallow waters. While the Seahawk meticulously marked the submarine's position, the crew simultaneously monitored the unexploded intelligent sonar fields in real time on their tactical monitors. This ensured the coordinates were recorded so that the countermeasures units could intercept them after the engagement ended. With a secure acoustic lock established, the Seahawk transitioned from search to attack. Launching a lightweight Mark 54 torpedo, its active sonar head locked onto the hull of the Ghadir-class submarine. In an instant, a deep, high-pressure underwater explosion erupted from the seabed, vaporizing the enemy submarine. Realizing their stealth advantage had been completely broken, the remaining Ghadir submarines abandoned their approach. They performed emergency dives and retreated to the safe coastal waters of Iran. At this point, to prevent further escalation and reinforce the outer perimeter defense, an F-35C Lightning II stealth fighter arrived at the location, extending the coalition's surveillance range with its advanced stealth sensor network. By 3:45 a.m., the initial defensive perimeter. Taking advantage of the strait's rugged terrain, they advanced deeper into the commercial shipping formation, creating a continuous and immediate asymmetrical threat to the civilian oil tankers on the surface. In response, the F-35C Lightning II immediately switched from passive surveillance to direct attack mode. Utilizing its advanced sensor integration architecture and the N/AAQ-37 electro-optical distributed aperture system, which is a 360-degree spherical infrared sensor network. The F-35C swiftly penetrated the remaining smoke and radar interference. The DAS system automatically tracked and classified all surface targets. This allowed the F-35C pilots to quickly lock onto targets and neutralize the moving Zulfiqar ships with a heavy barrage of AGM-179 joint air-to-ground multi-mode guided missiles, completely disrupting the coordination of the surface attack. At the same time, Iran escalated the conflict by launching a large number of Shahd-136 drones from mobile launchers on the Iranian coast. These flew at extremely low altitudes, creating a severe saturation effect that overloaded the digital radar processor on the destroyer. Amidst the chaos, the Boeing P-8A Poseidon maintained its role as the fleet's leading air combat controller. It continued to create a unified combat picture, tracking the low flight paths of incoming weapons and precisely identifying the coastal launch points of the new swarm of UAVs. At precisely this critical moment, an EA-18G Growler electronic attack aircraft entered the combat space to provide electronic protection for decision-making. It initiated its jamming system using N/ALQ-218 tactical receivers mounted on its wingtips, and two N/ALQ-99 tactical jammers to deploy high-intensity localized radio frequency countermeasures. This electronic attack immediately disrupted the control and guidance links of the Shahd-136 swarm, causing dozens of suicide drones to lose synchronization, break formation, and crash into the sea in vain. Amidst this intense electronic and kinetic chaos, the MH-60R Seahawk helicopter continued its low-altitude, continuous loops around the perimeter of the commercial tanker, acting as a crucial forward targeting node. The Seahawk used its secure data links to transmit raw, unvarnished surface telemetry data directly to the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer and F-35C fighter jets, allowing the coalition forces to resynchronize their combat systems. For a brief moment, the U.S. forces appeared to have re-established firm control over the volatile situation. But at 3:57 a.m., American control was violently broken when the IRG deployed its ultimate tactical trap. Along the coast, Iran activated its entire strategic air defense radar network. Simultaneously, the Avtobaza-M system pushed its transmit power to maximum using DRFM technology to create thousands of phantom targets. This digital deception was deliberately calculated to lure and trap the coalition's top fighter jets into a deadly coastal engagement zone. Without warning, the F-35C Lightning II was simultaneously locked onto by the long-range radars of the S-300 PMU-2 and Cordet-15 systems. Inside the cockpit, the acoustic environment exploded into a chorus of warnings of approaching missiles. The F-35C was forced to perform sharp turns with extremely high G-forces and deploy flares to break the deck. Deteriorated severely, plunging the alliance into a state of localized digital disconnection. Isolated from the overall picture, the F-35C pilot activated the air-to-air electronic warfare system in coordination with the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, doing everything possible to pinpoint the exact location of the elusive jamming points. However, the price paid for this tactical distraction was almost catastrophic. A small group of remaining Shahd 136 suicide drones penetrated the outer air defense quarters. They quickly closed the distance, locking onto the vulnerable commercial oil tankers. With the defenses breached, the entire convoy faced catastrophic destruction. By 4:08 a.m., the battle reached a critical turning point. The EA-18G Growler aircraft switched roles, launching AGM-88 HARM missiles from under their wings to isolate the Iranian electromagnetic signals. The missiles sped forward at destructive speed, destroying core Avtobaza enemy mobile transmitters along the coast and completely disabling the enemy's jamming network. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyer Flight III immediately emerged from the digital saturation and blinding. Its advanced SBY-6 radar re-established a clear tactical tracking path, scanning the combat space with high resolution. As the data links were resynchronized, the warship's Mark 15 Phalanx close-in weapon systems switched to autopilot. The 20mm Gatling guns fired 500 rounds per minute to destroy the remaining Shahd 136 aircraft group at close range. Simultaneously, the P-8A Poseidon detected that most of the UAV control data and tactical communications were converging on a fortified underground complex near Bandar Abbas. After re-establishing the Link 16 connection, the F-35C Lightning II returned to attack range from the southeast. It immediately used its 360-degree DAS system to penetrate the remaining smoke, dropping 2 GBU-31V3 joint direct attack munition bombs on the $13 billion secret war facility. This caused a massive secondary explosion that collapsed the underground complex and created intense columns of fire erupting from the ventilation shafts. After this command brain was destroyed, the Shahd aircraft lost all coordination capabilities. The Zulfiqar ships retreated in panic, and the Ghadir submarines fell silent. The United States had firmly re-established complete dominance at sea, ensuring the safety of the commercial convoy. But what if the F-35C Lightning II had failed to break the heavy radar locks in time? Or what if Iran had not committed its entire tactical air defense infrastructure to hunting the stealth fighter? Would the $13 billion fortified underground command center near Bandar Abbas have remained untouched, allowing the IRG to successfully seal the strait? Conversely, if the U.S. Navy had not deployed the EA-18G Growler to hold the electronic line and the Boeing P-8A Poseidon to maintain continuous multi-domain surveillance, the Strait of Hormuz could have easily become a catastrophic graveyard for American forces. But reality proved a definitive lesson in modern high-intensity conflict. The side that controls the sensors and dominates the speed of decision-making will always command the ultimate victory. If you got value from this video, smash that like button, it really helps the channel. And subscribe to Navy Exclusive for more deep dives like this. Hit the bell so you never miss an analysis when it drops. Thanks for watching. If you found